Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Yesterday I talked about how to create a multi-company consolidation report and how to do that in Power BI. So today I want to just demonstrate what Power BI is and how to quickly create a Power BI report and how to enable Power BI report to be viewable from anywhere around the world, and how to share your Power BI report with the users in your organization, and also how to control the security for those Power BI reports. And we'll also cover how to share the Power BI report outside your organization. And so at last, I will compare the Power BI solution with other solutions, with other business intelligence solutions, and will show you guys some Power BI reports we created for our customers for the use cases. Okay, so first let's start. What is Power BI? Power BI is means BI means business intelligence. It's an analytics solution. We can say it's a business intelligence solution provided by Microsoft, and to help the organization understand their data and have more insights of their data. So it's an advanced analytics tool, and it started with Excel, but now it has more powerful queries and other scripts and visualizations integrated to it. So it becomes a full solution. So it's not only a tool to create reports, it's also an ecosystem, because Power BI can be used together with the other products in the Power Platform, like the Power Apps, Microsoft Flow, and also you can install and set up the on-premise gateway on your computer on your server, so to transmit the data between your on-premise servers to the cloud. And there's a Power BI service hosted on the cloud, and it's also PowerBI.com. So the PowerBI.com is a Power BI service hosted on the cloud. You can publish your Power BI report from the desktop client, which is called the Power BI desktop, to the PowerBI.com, and then you can refresh your report. You can set up the auto refresh for your report with the communication by the gateway. So you can set up the auto refresh on the Power BI service. And also there are some other products of Power BI, like if you're a big organization, then you have like, for example, over 500 employees or users, then maybe you want to purchase the Power BI capacity license, which you can create a Power BI report server on premise and keep all your reports on premise. So usually companies like financial institution, governments, they have sensitive information. They do not want to publish to PowerBI.com, the Power BI service. So then they will purchase the capacity plan. And there's another component. It's called embedded Power BI. So embedded solution. Embedded solution is for you to create some apps and embed Power BI report into your own apps. And also with the newest release of Power BI, then Power BI is integrated with Azure AI, the Azure Artificial Intelligence. And in order to use that, you can use that to make forecast for your data if you have enough historical data. So then you can make prediction for your future trend, for the trend of your data with the Azure AI. So, but in that case, you need to have the Power BI capacity license or Power BI embedded license. Okay, so let's start with the Power BI desktop. So the Power BI desktop, so I just opened my Power BI desktop. Then you could see I created a Power BI report earlier. And this is the desktop client installed on your computer or servers. And then you can use it to create a Power BI report. So start with this interface. You have the visualizations. You can select which visual you want for the data to present. And also you can select the field you want to show in your visualization. You can expand or collapse this with the recent release. Then you can collapse these panes. And on the left hand side, so you have 3 buttons. The first button is the report view. So if you hover on that, you could see it says report. And the second button is the data view. So the data view is usually for you to model your data, do the data modeling, transform your data. And also you have a relationship view. So this is data view, and also you have this model. So this model actually is the relationship view. So you create the relationship between different tables in this view. For example, you could see I already have some relationship created. If you double click on this, then you can see the different relationship between the tables. You can see it's many to one, a single direction, or both direction. You can see all those relationships, and you can use the manage relationships function to auto detect the relationships after you imported the table. So right now I have all the relationships. There's nothing new relationship the system can find. And also with this relationship view, so you can create the table relationships. And after you did that, you also you could see I have some tables is like hidden. So once you do this, you can right click and hide this table. Once you had in report view, then this table will not bother you anymore. When you create a visualization here, you won't see. If you open this, you won't see that table. You remember I have an international, in this relationship view, I have an international sales. Once I hide this from the relationship view, when I go back to the report view to create my visualization, I won't see that international sales anymore, because I just keep that table maybe for future reference, but for me to create a visual, I don't need that. So and in the data view, you do your data transformation. So what you can do, for you to create your Power BI report, the first thing you have to do is to get your data. So Power BI provide hundreds of services you can connect to. So you can have you can use hundreds of data sources from Get Data. For example, I can just import Excel file. So I can highlight Excel and click on Connect. And I can choose an Excel file from my local computer. So for example, I want to choose this file. And so this is the first step, you get your data, okay? So you can get Excel file, then you can preview the format of your Excel file, and you decide if you want to edit or load the data. So for the edit, you can modify your data, transform your data from the edit queries view, and then after you are okay with everything, then you can click on close and apply in that view, then to confirm you're done with your data transformation. And if you click on load, it just load this Excel table and doesn't do any transformation of your data. Okay, so that's for Excel. Then you can get, so all the data sources listed here, there are hundreds of data sources you can use. So there are SQL database, and there are web services like Salesforce, Business Central, Dynamics 365. So almost lots of services like you see for the daily system or software you use available here to as a data source. So for example, I want to use a SQL query, so I can select this SQL Server database. Okay, I can select this data source. Then I have to specify my server and the database I want to connect to. Okay, so for because I'm on my local laptop and I have a SQL database installed on my local computer, so I'm gonna use this server name, and I'm gonna use the database name like this, and I can paste my SQL query to this SQL statement window, and then I can load my data. So for the SQL Server data source, you can have direct query, or you can have the data just saved on your PBX file, cached in your PBX file. So usually we will select import. But if you are using, like I mentioned, there's another component for Power BI ecosystem, which is the data gateway, on-premise data gateway. If you use the on-premise data gateway, so there are two kinds of on-premise data gateway. One is on-premise data gateway, and another one is called on-premise data gateway personal mode. Personal mode is usually only for one user, for yourself. Okay, you only can install on your own computer, like to use for yourself by single user. So if you install on-premise data gateway without the personal mode, so previously it was called on-premise data gateway enterprise. And then if you install that gateway, it not only work for Power BI, it also work for Power Apps, Logic Apps, Microsoft Flow, and also it allow you to use the gateway for multiple users from multiple data sources. Yeah. So, and also at the same time, it allow you to use direct query from here. So if you install the data gateway personal mode, then you are not able to select the data direct query. You are not able to select this direct query. Only when you install the on-premise data gateway without the personal mode, then you can select this direct query. Okay. So because I installed that one, so it is the on-premise. Let's show you guys on-premise data gateway. I'll search by data gateway. Okay. So on-premises data gateway, this is the one I installed without the bracket personal mode, so you can have the direct query enabled. It will do a live query to your SQL database. Okay, so I'm gonna use the import, so then it will just cache the data in my PBX file. My PBX file is the Power BI file. Okay, so then you can decide if you want to transform the data before you use it, or you just want to load the data. Yeah, so this is from the SQL database, and also like you can get it from the web. Just take another example, like if you are interested in movies and you want to get some information from the web for top movies, then you can select web. And after you select web, then you can go to say, I found a website which is this one, and this website has the top movies on it, right? So you see the best movies of all time, and they give you the ranking. So if I use this link, I can copy this URL from web, click on OK. Then I will have those tables loaded. So those tables are the ones on that web page. And then you can select the one you want to edit and play around, then load that table or edit that table. So it depends on your network speed, the bandwidth of your network speed. Okay, so now I found those. So let's see, yeah, so this is the table we want. So that's the top movies. Then you can load this top movies or edit this top movies. Okay, so that's the first step to create your Power BI report. We are using Power BI desktop. Then we are doing we are using get data functionality to obtain the data first. Okay, and the second step, after you get your data, then you have to do the transformation of your data. So let's go back to our Excel file just to say I want to use this Excel file. I want to load this file and I want to do some data transformation on this. Okay, so after I click on edit, then that's the second step. Then I will go to my data transformation window. So I call it a data transformation window, but actually it's the edit query window. Okay, so after you go here, then you can see this is not the format you want, because you may want to use some queries to for example, I want to see these country names to be on the top as the column, country names as the column, and then so the year will be as my row, will be the row header, will be my row name, okay, and this country name will be my column name. and then I want to see my population. If I want to do that transformation, so first I have some information which not useful at all for me. So I can just say remove rows. So I'm gonna remove the top rows, okay? So I'm say remove the top rows, but it will ask me which number of rows you want to remove. So I'm gonna remove the top 3 rows from there. So actually the transformation I'm doing here, everything I do in the Power Query editor is it will create a Power Query, okay? So you see those steps on the right hand side. Those are the steps that you're doing. So if you don't want the step, you want to reverse the last step, you can just cross it. And at the same time, why it's called a Power Query? Because there's a code generated behind it. If you go to your advanced so if you go to your add column, let me see, home, and you have advanced editor, sorry. So here, advanced editor. So each steps you are doing is generating the code. So this advanced editor is using the Power Queries, we also call it M language, okay? And so there are many techniques you can use when transforming your data. So you can use like this advanced, if you are good on writing those codes, you can write those code, right? But for people who are not technical, they want to use the GUI, graphic user interface, to like the step added. So after you import the Excel file, then you see something like this. And so the first step you need to do is you don't want these top rows because those are just descriptions. So you can highlight this, the 5th row, then you say just remove the top rows. So you tell the system you want to remove those rows. So then I'm gonna remove the first 4 rows, and then I only have these. And then I want to promote this to be the header. So I can say use first row as header. And after this, then I can I highlight this first column, and I could say unpivot other columns. Okay. So yeah, my purpose is I want to see the country name, then the year, and the population. So this I have to rename this column to be the year. Oh, so I have to rename this attribute. I have to rename this to be the year. I need to find rename. And then I want to rename this column to be the population. Okay, so then I got the result I want. So the country name, year, and population. Then this is a simple example of how you transform your Excel data in the Power BI. So this is an example for data transformation. So the next thing I want to demo, so we have data, we know how to obtain the data by get data from, and then we know how to transform the data in the edit query window in the Power Query editor. And after you're okay with this, then you can close and apply. So because I already have something created for this. This is the same result, right? Country population. I'm just gonna delete this one. I just created, and I'm gonna use the original one, country population, this one, okay? After you did that, you can click on close and apply. And so the next step is like when all your data is ready, then you want to create a table relationship. So after you transform your data in the tables and you are satisfied, then you can create a table relationship between the different tables. So I have that country population, but it doesn't have any relationship with the other table. But you can see from my relationship view, I already have some relationship between those tables. This is called the data modeling. So after your data transformation, you do this data modeling to create your table relationships. Okay, so after you did the data modeling by creating the table relationships, then you can go back to your report view. Then, because all your data is ready at this point of time, then you can quickly create your Power BI report. So let's say I want to create this Power BI report. Let's just create this in 5 minutes. So first let's add another page. So the final result I want to do is I want to create something as my demo, okay? So let's create a text box and call it company sales analysis. So you can insert a text box, okay? So you can change the font from this text, okay? So let's say I want to change this font to be larger 36 and want to change this to be Arial black, okay? So this is my text I have for my report header. And then I want to create my Power BI report. I want to give it a date filter. So let's use the date from here. Let's drag the date. Then I'm gonna change this data filter to the slicer, so it will be something like this, okay? And then after I did this, then I can give some other filters. So I also want to filter this report by segment and the item category. So that's under my products table. So that's the category, and also I want to filter by segment as well. Okay, so that's also change them to the slicer, and then we can put them away. Okay, and the next we're gonna create is like we want to create a product. We want to create a product by segment and category, product sales by segment and item category, and sorry. So the next I want to create a visual for the sales by let's see, the revenue by product and segment. Okay, so so the next I'm gonna create a visual for the products sales by segment. So I need to drag my revenue. So my revenue is under my sales. So I want to use this. So I need to have my revenue, and I need to have my segment and product by segment. Okay, so this is my revenue by segment, and also you can create units by manufacturer. So in order to create I want to create a pie chart. You can click on this. So manufacturer and units. So let's select my units. So then I have a pie chart created. So another one visual I want to create is the revenue by country. Okay, so that we have to use like a map. Let's use this map. So then we want to put in this map visual the revenue by country name. Okay, so then you can see this, and the last thing I want to create is a visual by the product sales over the year, the revenue and the unit sales over the year. Okay, so for that I need to create a visual with a line. Yeah, so the line and stacked chart, column chart. So let's use that. So, oh, this one is like this. Okay, so I need to click on the blank. Oh, so I click on the wrong place. So then the next one I want to use this visual is the line and the stack column chart. So I click on that one, and then I put my year over the shared axis. Let's put this year here. And then I put my revenue and my units. So I want to use my revenue as the column value and my units as my line. Okay, so then you will have a chart like this. Okay, so I just created this within 5 minutes. And then you can do some cosmetics work just to make this more beautiful. Then you have to go to this format and to give like this one. I want to switch off the header, so I want to use the title from here. So let's switch off this. then give it a title, then I can use the highlight from here, okay? So I use the font color, let's see, I want to use the background color the same way as this, and font color black. So this is the category. Okay, so this is a category. Okay, so and then you can select the font, so you can make it larger. So this is just formatting of this. And actually, to be easier, if you want to have the same format for the segment, you can just copy and then paste. And then when you do this, then you can replace this segment to, let's go back to this first, this fields, okay? Then you can replace this category with the segment. So then you get the same format. So the only thing you need to change is you have to go to your format, then change this title to be segment. So that will be faster for you to create other visuals with the same format. Okay, so this is kind of done. And if you compare this with my first, they pretty much look the same, right? So this is revenue by product and segment. So I'm missing just one. I'm only using this is my segment, revenue by segment. Let's see, by product. So segment is on the top, then your product ID. Product segment revenue. Okay, so what I have to do is like I have to drag my product here, and my segment need to be here to be the legend. So I can get the same like this. Okay, so that's the only difference we have with the other visual. And then everything else looks the same. Units by manufacturer, and by year revenue, and units by year, and revenue by country name. Okay, then you can do some, yeah, so we are missing this card. So this is a card. What you can do, you can click on this card visual, and then you drag your revenue. You just click on your revenue, then you will get the total revenue here. We are missing this. Okay. And you may see I may miss a line, so you can do some drawings on this visual as well. So what you can do, you can import a ship. You can just draw a ship, so you can do a rectangle. So like this, then you can put them together. Then you can create a transparency on this. So on this visual, you want to make it transparent. So, okay, so that's part of the demonstration to tell you how you can quickly create a Power BI report. Let's go back to our demos. Let's go back to our agenda. So the next thing I want to talk about is okay, so let's go back to our agenda. The next thing I want to talk about is so we talk about what is Power BI, how to quickly build a Power BI report. And so next thing I want to talk about is how to access the Power BI report from anywhere. Okay, so after you create your Power BI report, like if I like this report, I can publish this report to my powerbi.com. So I can save this report first, then publish. Okay, so it will ask me to select my workspace because I have multiple workspaces I created. So then I would like to publish to my workspace. So select this one. And it depends on how big is your data set. So then it may take some time to publish. In order to see your data set, you can see I'm using this file. So actually it's pretty big. It's 53 megabyte because there's some access. Okay, so after you publish your Power BI report to powerbi.com, then you can open this report. Then it will bring you to the dataset on powerbi.com. So if you have a company email, then you can register on powerbi.com for free, and you can publish your Power BI report from your Power BI desktop to powerbi.com. That's no problem. So the only difference with the Pro license, which is the paid license, and other paid license is like only for the paid license, then you can share the report to somebody else. You see there's a button called share. So if I only have company email address, I didn't purchase Power BI Pro, then I will not be able to share. This button will not be available. And also, if I go to my data set, so I go to that publish report, because you could see I have too many reports listed here. It's very difficult for me to find what report I was on. So the name of my report is called Power BI file.pbx. So I'm gonna search by name, and let's search by name. Okay, so I will go to search demo file. Yeah, so then you see this data set. Okay, so the data set is published. Then you also, if you go to reports tab, then you can see, if you search by this keyword, then you see there's a report published at the same time with the same name. Okay, the data sets and the reports use the same name. And so because I'm going to show you guys how you can access the Power BI report from anywhere. So after you publish this report, then you can go to your Power BI. If you just log into your powerbi.com, then you can just see this report and the data set. And at the same time, if you're using the mobile client, so if you're using the mobile client on your phone, then after you publish this Power BI report to powerbi.com, you will be able to see the report in your Power BI mobile app. Okay, so that's how you access your Power BI report from anywhere around the world. So as long as you have access to the internet and to the Wi-Fi connection, and to the internet, as long as you have access to the internet, then you should be able to see the Power BI report by using the web browser from powerbi.com, or using your mobile Power BI client on the phone or tablets. Okay, and after we are able to, so this will bring us the concern, like you are able to access your Power BI report from anywhere, but how can you control the security of this Power BI report? Do not let other people do not let other people to see, like outside of your organization, to see your report, because this powerbi.com is using the single sign-on from your Office 365 or Dynamic 365. So there's a auditing there's an auditing in Microsoft. So you can enable, like when people log in with when you log in with your email address, then you can enable the two-step verification. So I have a previous video which introduced the two-step verification. So when you sign in with your username, and it will ask you to call your phone number or text a message to your phone, then you have to answer your phone, enter the verification code in order to sign in. That's how to control the security when you are able to log in anywhere. And another thing, so I want to mention is like how do you share the Power BI report across the organizations, and how to control the security. So as I mentioned, you can use this button share, and as long as the other person has a Power BI Pro license, then you can share this report to the other person. And if you don't have the Power BI Pro license, and another way for you to share the report is you have to send this PBX file, this Power BI file, PBX file, over to the other person you want to share the report. So the other person is only able to open this report, see the cached visual content, but they will not be able to edit if they do not have the same permission as you, and then they will not be able to, which has the data access, but the other person does not have that access to the source data on their computer, then they will not be able to edit queries. Then you will see something like what I see here. Then you will see the arrow, because I'm not able to access that access database from this computer. It was created from another computer. Okay, yeah. So that's the disadvantage of not having the Power BI license. So you cannot share the Power BI report from powerbi.com. You can only send a PBX file. And also, in order to refresh your Power BI report published to powerbi.com, you always have to republish the data. And so it doesn't make sense like you have to always to republish the data, right? Because it's manual process. So then you can just use your local Power BI desktop to open the report and refresh from there. You can do this refresh, and so you don't need to. In that case, it doesn't make much sense to publish to powerbi.com. And so with the Pro license, you can schedule up to 8 refresh from your data set. So that this report, I can go to my workspace and I can go to my data sets, and I just filter my demo files, and I can schedule. So not this one, not this button, the other button. So this one, I can schedule my refresh, and I can schedule up to 8 refresh, auto refresh, with my Power BI Pro license. Okay, so that's for how you share the Power BI report within with people within your organization, and how do you control the security? So, for example, Microsoft has moved the permission to control the security from powerbi.com to, so if you see manage permissions, you can control the permission, the whole report permission from here. So you can add another user. So the owner usually has the read and write permission. You can add another user, let's say somebody else from my organization. Then you can give that user like reshare permission. So for your recipient, for the recipient of your report, they are not able to edit your Power BI report. Okay, they can only read the Power BI report and reshare. You can give them the reshare permission. Okay, so that's the whole report permission. What if I want to control the data permission on that report? So I want to control the row level data permission. How can I do this? So there's a way to do it. So Microsoft has moved that permission from powerbi.com to Power BI desktop. So let's say that is controlled by the security. If you click on this, it tells you the low level security has moved to the Power BI desktop. So you have to do it. Okay, so let's see how we can manage the row level security. And I recommend you guys to go to the data view, because from here you can when you go to modeling and manage row, and you can see the tables you need, those kind of things. Okay, so I will say I already have some rows created and they're with this table. So what we want to do is like we want this rows to work for the sales table as well. Let's just copy this to here. Copy this international sales to the sales. Let's see in the sales table. That's why we have to go to the data view so we can see. So it's called country name. So we have to use a country name. Okay, so now we can say view as Canada, and then we go to our visual and change this to this view, and see only see the data for Canada. Okay, so that's what I want to demo for the control the row level security, the data level security. And so next, how do you share the Power BI report outside the organization? So in PowerBI.com, it provides you different ways for doing it. You need to go to your, let's see if I log in as me. Okay, so you go to your workspace and you go to your reports. If you go to any of the reports, and it provides you, if you click on the three dots, and it provides you the option to embed. So you can embed this to a website or portal. That could be a external website, and then you can embed this to to publish this to a web. So usually this is the part like you do not want to enable. So you can, because for some Power BI reports, like most of the Power BI report within your organization will have sensitive information specific to your organization. You do not want to share these reports with external people. Okay, so by default, if you go to admin portal of your Power BI and yeah, so by default, if you go to your admin portal of your Power BI, then you could see there are some settings. Those settings will disable your publish to web. So this has to be disabled usually. You don't want to enable this for your organization. Users in your organization can publish reports viewable by anyone on the web. You would like to disable this and apply this change. As a Power BI admin, you have to do this, okay? So the admin portal I'm showing you right now is only for Power BI admin can access this admin portal. You can see when I just log in, I can only see capacity settings. That's the view before my Power BI admin permission has been added. And then I asked our global admin just added my permission. Then after I refresh my web page, then I can see the whole list. Okay. Yeah, so you can do it that way. You can embed that code to a public website, but usually you do not want to do it that way. In Power BI, what are the Power BI advantages over the other BI solutions like Jet reports, anything else? Power BI has very rich full visualizations, as you can see from the Power BI desktop. So it's not only limited to what you can see here, then you can also click on the three dots, you can import visual from the marketplace. So it has very rich visualizations. Then you can have insight of your data right away. So for Jet report, it might be good for you to use it as a data warehouse to have the cubes and the measures configured at the back, so you can have your data more structured. But that can also be done. That can also be done in your Power BI report by doing some SQL analysis, SQL database analysis, create a SQL views, those kind of things. Yeah, but yeah, so and the difference is like for your Jet reports, you need to have a staging database, and usually the data published from your usually the data goes from your real-time database to the staging database. Then the data got refreshed. Sometimes you schedule the Jet report refresh overnight for a report to refresh. So the report does not give you the real-time data. But for Power BI, you are getting the real-time data. And so another thing for Power BI is like, as I said, you can use different techniques to create the Power BI reports. You can, if you are not technical, you can use like what I did, like use the edit queries window to create those Power BI queries. So let's just go back to that window again. So if you are not that technical, then you can use this edit query window to do the data transformation, okay? And if you are technical, then you can create those SQL statements. You can use R script or Python script, and even the M query, your Power BI report. So it can be for everyone. You can create your own Power BI report. So it depends on your skill set. If you are very if you are good on Excel, all those advanced Excel formulas and functions, most of them can be used in Power BI. Okay, so that's another advantage of Power BI. It's like it can work for both technical people and non-technical people. And so the last thing is the use case. So I remember I showed you guys consolidated financial report from the previous YouTube video. So this is a scenario like you can consolidate multiple legal entities, which means legal entities, the multiple companies from your Business Central database, consolidate those financial reports at the GL level to your Power BI, and you can filter the data at the GL level, and or you can filter the data at the GL account category level, and so you can filter cost of goods sold. You see the totals for that, and assets for those, and also you can filter the data by income or balance sheet. Okay, you can see the total here. Okay, so this is just one example of your Power BI, how the Power BI report looks like. And also we have some sample like the financial dashboard and the sales and purchase dashboard created for our customers. So this will be provided, and we can help the customer to. So these reports are created with SQL queries, so they can be plugged into any SQL database, any Business Central SQL database. So then you can see we have financial reports for your trial balance, and you can see the KPI, the profit margin, expenses, revenues, and the KPI details, and you can see the net change by year. So that's a financial report. And also we have the sales dashboard and the purchase dashboard. From the sales dashboard, you can see the top customers and the top items you sold. And for the purchase dashboard, you can see the top vendors and the top items you purchase from your vendors. You can see all those information. Okay, so this is the sales dashboard. Okay, and for the purchase dashboard is similar. So we created lots of reports, Power BI reports for our customers. I cannot show all those reports to you guys because those are with the customer logo. But these are the sample reports we created, and so we can plug into our customer database. And you can see the top vendors and the top items by quantity purchased and the posting group, and the details of the purchase details, like posting day, item description, vendor name, document number, cost amount, posting group, purchaser, those kind of things. And you can filter by the vendor name, you can filter by purchaser name, you can filter by item name. Yeah. Okay, so that's everything for today's demo. Thank you so much for joining this session today. Hope to see you guys again next time.